So, as you have waited for this is Success Talk Show with Mongsang, Chairman Park Han-Gill, and other guests. Please greet them with a big hand. Hello, everyone. I'm the MC of Success Talk Show. I'm Kim Kyung-hee of Atomy. I can see so many people filling up the space. So for today's Success Talk Show, we have three distinguished guests, Brand and Captain of Atomy. We have Chairman Park Han-Gil. And the amazing man, happy man, Imperial Master Kim Song-il is with us. And lastly, she's traveling all across the world. We have Crown Master Kim Bunsook with us. So in the morning, Park Han-Gil, our chairman, in his lecture, he greeted a lot of people from overseas. I believe today's Success Talk Show will be really insightful time. So we'll move on to the very first question. We are joined by so many people from overseas. I think it's related to them. Here goes the first question. So Atomy is going global, and we believe that the super synergy of United Heart system of Atomy played an important role. So how was the culture established, the culture of super synergy of United Hearts? We'll first listen from Chairman Park Han-Gil. Back in 2006, we established the company, and the next year, in 2007, we first established the global branch in the US. Even before that, the current Imperial Master Kim Song-il, under his line, we have been sending a lot of products to the US. So hundreds of millions worth of products were going to the US. So we hurried to open the branch in the US. And back then, what was your mastership then? It was lawyer master back then. So Kim Song-il, our lawyer master at that time, was traveling across the United States, and he was staying like 1 month in the East and West, attending the seminar. Not many people were gathering at that time. How many people were there for the seminar? Minimum and maximum number of people in a seminar. On average, like it was 10 people who attended the seminar. So even with 10 people, they were moving from city to city. And you know, there is an employee named Tom in the US branch. And he became the son-in-law of Yoon Young-sung. Anyway, he was driving with him. I went to other city and had a seminar with 10 or 15 people and moved to another city. So they were doing it like that for a month all across the nation in the US. So when I look at him back then, so maybe after 2 to 3 months, he will be totally exhausted and he will not be able to do that again. After he came back from the business trip, I think he was even stronger back then. He looks quite strong even now. And he was quite exhausted after the trip. So we're thinking about how we can advance into the global market. So maybe we should be going to not only the US but also to Japan. If we have a new line in Japan and Southeast Asia and China and Europe, then we should be traveling all these different countries. So we have to travel for 1 month in the US. So what about other countries? What if we have new lines in other countries? So if its individual leaders need to do that, they will not be able to do this for a long time. So the brand manager should be holding some seminars to gather the leaders. So I was wondering how I can recruit such branch managers. So there was not much talented people like me. If there are some talented person like me, I can get that person to do the branch manager for its market, but that was not really possible back then. So I was worried that our leaders would get too exhausted from traveling across different nations. So I gathered all different leaders. So regardless of your line, just go abroad. And to travel all across to the US, maybe we can divide up to west and east, and you can go once a year. Then with 24 people, we can cover both east and west area of the America and organize seminars. So under the condition that you need to pay for your flight tickets. And some people said, I don't have any partner there, so I need to pay for my tickets and give lectures there. They said no. They were asking me why they should do that. So I explained to them why they should be doing that. So until like 2 or 3 a.m., I told about why they should be doing that. And the next morning, they wanted to play the football, and I gathered them again to give a lecture. And until the lunchtime, I told them what they should be doing, but they were not being persuaded by me. So I got them all together and I talked to them for 2 days again. I thought that I need to say at least 10 times to persuade them. I can understand that you don't get it now, but after 10 times, I will count that as once. So if I do that 10 times, it will be 100 times. So I was that determined to persuade all these leaders. And I told them 6 times, spending the whole night up. And it was the seventh time that I was talking to them. We need to go global, but if its individual leader goes abroad by themselves, go to the US and Japan and Southeast Asia and Europe, holding seminars. It takes lawyer master Kim Sung-il 1 month to cover the US. So what are you going to do? It is too exhausting. So the only way to advance into the global market is to have some teamwork. And we need to be sharing our work all together. So if all of you visit the US once a year, maybe for a trip, and maybe some people it'll be your first time to go there, you can just pay for the flight ticket and you will find new partners there. And most of the time, the partners will buy you dinner, and it can be an opportunity to travel, have a tour in the US. So you can visit there like once a year. So there will be nothing bad about this, and it will be a good experience for you. So if we pay the flight ticket for you, the biggest worry for me is that maybe those who are not really qualified might go. So even those unqualified leaders might want to go to the US. then they give lectures that are not really helpful to other partners, then what would happen? It will be a failure, right? So people who are willing to go there, even by paying for their flight tickets, it means that they are really good leaders. So people who really are capable of delivering good lectures, those 24 leaders, were dispatched to the west and east of the US, and then we also advanced to Japan, visiting Tokyo, Osaka, and Fukuoka. So that's how we built the system of super synergy of United Heart. So no matter which country we visit in the world, this worked. So anyway, that's how we went abroad, and Park Jong-soo and Kim Hyun-suk was the one who were against this idea the most. What did Park Jong-soo say? She said, "We're not God. We don't have any single partner, but I need to pay for my plane tickets and get lectured there. Then what about my downliners in Korea?" She was really strongly against this idea. And Imperial Master Kim Hyun-soo, she was a lawyer master back then, and she went to the States. And oh, chairman. Back then, she thought there was no partner there, but it turned out that there was Sharon Lowe's master partner there. So she asked the person, "Who is your sponsor?" And the above line star master was herself. So it meant that she's her partner. So that's how the system of super synergy of United Heart started. Yeah, that's what the chairman thinks. I think you are only looking at the positive side of the chairman. But the leaders who were struggling back then, it was really difficult for us. It was a big hardship for us. Think about it. There's no single partner there, and giving a lecture there, it cannot really happen. This kind of culture only exists in Atomy. Imperial Master Lee Do-gu, he had experience in other network marketing companies, and chairman was saying something like nonsense. In other cases, they would accept what the chairman says. So in this case, many leaders were against this, but the chairman never gave up. So that's how we had to just accept what he wanted. And the biggest beneficiary for this idea was actually me, because I had lines in the US. But after some time, I think it became a really big advantage for the leaders. So we have the spirit of taking on the challenge. We are not scared of going anywhere in the world. So all the leaders are active in many different countries. And there was really rapid growth. So many branches were opened in many different countries thanks to the system of super synergy of United Hearts. And now we realize that this is a big advantage for us. I think this system enabled the explosive growth that we are witnessing now in all over the world. So I believe Chairman is always right. He had this great insight. So I always want to follow him. Yeah, great chairman and great leaders of Atomy.
And we found some evidence. Did it really talk about it 6 times, and did they really give up on the seventh time? They made the banner when they went on this workshop. Could we see the pictures for that? So they gave up fighting back, and they had global union workshop. And this is when the synergy work happened. And other than this picture, another story that I've heard is that the second Success Academy picture is up on the board. But thanks to the super synergy and the system was rolling, there was a thing that happened that almost broke this down. Should I really talk about it or not? After a while, Park Jong-soo, Imperial Master, the first Imperial Master. Oh, never mind. I guess he was crowned. He was a royal master, but Park Jong-soo he became a crown master for the first time. And when he became the crown master and came to receive the pin, Kim Song-il, Imperial Master, was his sponsor. He was four, and that was the fifth person, and he was in his line. Never mind. Partner who were in the same line. But when the first crown was made, and in this promotion, he didn't show up. And the atmosphere at the time, people were like, wow, that's not something a human would do. And what he said back then was, people said, oh, people are mad. He's mad that his partner made it higher than him before he could reach it. He left on purpose to have a seminar in Taiwan, just so he wouldn't have to come to it. But that was what people were thinking. And people thought people went to America even though they didn't want to go to it because the CEO said it. And they met people who are partners of Kim Song-il. And this person didn't even show up when his person made it higher up. How can he do such a thing? And so people were like, oh, we're never going back. We're not going to go to America. Because we were choosing numbers so we could learn more on super synergy. And the only person who benefited was Kim Song-il. And he didn't even show up. The audacity. And so the atmosphere was pretty bad. But we had to fix this somehow. Kim Song-il wasn't the problem. The whole royal club, they were all breaking down. They were saying that they weren't gonna go to America. That's the type of person he was. Say something. Do you have an excuse? I'll give you an opportunity to excuse. Sit down. Park Chung-soo Imperial. He has a short temper. So let me apologize first. I am very sorry. At that moment, when you're living your life, you probably have some downfalls in your life. Sometimes that you are in distraught, like you want to kill yourself. Park Jong-soo and I, we have some kind of competition between us. You sometimes want to win over your sponsor. Park Jong-soo, that was his life goal. He's been doing sports his whole life, so he had that fiery competitiveness. To be honest, I wanted to win over it. But at that moment, someone in Taiwan said that they really, really needed me. So I went, and when I came back, this whole disaster came. I stopped smoking because of the CEO for 3 years, and I felt like I was gonna die. Because he was doing a whole seminar, and I was, I guess I thought I should have done better. They said that if I apologize sincerely, and if not, I might have to start on my own. And I heard this from someone. Imagine, think about it. Like if that happened to you, I was living under the shade of Atomy. I've never had my own system. I've never had a system of my own. In other companies, you have to make that system on your own to grow. But in Atomy, you don't have to remember that system to grow. So I realized how bad of a idea that was. And if I get kicked out, if all the people I work with get kicked out because of me, that would be a disaster. So I took out my best suit, my best dress shoes, and I kneeled down and apologized. But this came to being because let me tell you the behind the BTS of why that happened. Everyone was turning their backs on each other. Park Jung-soo was so angry. Kim Sung-il, like, is that the audacity, and everyone was just mad. People were going to America when they don't even have partners in America. They were paying with their own money, and all these people, they got so angry. So how were we gonna fix this? So we had this Lee Sung-nim person, and I talked to that person. I have to find a way to make so that everyone comes together. And I told Dr. Lee to wake him up. He's from the military, and he said, I'm gonna make him wake up from this reality. And he said, I'll take care of it, no worries. And when I heard that, I wanted to tell Kim Sung-il that you have to kneel when Dr. Lee comes and talks to you. And when that does happen, everyone there, all the leaders there, I think he was in his 40s, mid 40s. He's now in his late 50s. So in his mid 40s, he's an adult. To kneel in front of other people to beg. I thought that everyone there, all the other leaders like Park Jong-soo, I thought they would think that this action that he's doing of begging with his kneeled, I thought everyone thought he would be accepted. And so we scripted all this out, and we told him to do so. And Kim Sung-il, I guess he had a good soul. He's not a bad person, is what people were talking about. And people started talking about how, that was just like a mistake. And everything kind of got fixed. Being an Atomy CEO, you have to really do all sorts of things. Since we were talking about this, you talked about smoking. I told everyone to quit smoking. And I think he quit for a while. When did you get caught? At the Songli Mountain. At, after the Success Academy, first day of Success Academy. Before we went to the Songli Mountain, we met up at onsen, and we didn't have money to pay for all the accommodation. So we asked people to pay a certain amount and asked people to bring their own food. We were at a condo, so you could have just brought your own food. And we just had a room for people to stay in. And so people paid small amounts, and we had a seminar there. And for a 2-day seminar, I was the only one giving lectures. So 4 hours in the afternoon. After dinner, it was supposed to end around 10, but it went up till 1 to 2 a.m. And the next day, I lectured for like 4 hours in the morning. And I had to do all these lectures. And so at night, sent people to write their life scenarios. And I had to coach everyone. I went through every single room to coach everyone. So since we were still in the early stages, I wanted to give it a great structure. And I thought this education was needed. And I made them fix every single little details. But I've been giving lectures all afternoon up until 1 to 2 a.m. And around that time, my energy was depleted. And I had more energy back then. I think there wasn't an elevator there, but on the way to the hot springs, when we were walking up the stairs, my legs started shaking, and I couldn't go up the stairs. So I was holding onto the railing to go up to the hot springs. Chegi-jung, um, master, he pushed me from the back, and I stopped by every single room to coach people and to correct every single details. And when we reached about 200 people, when we moved to Songli Mountain, when there were more people, there was about 200, so I couldn't go coach everyone. So royals and crowns, I expected them to do the coaching that I couldn't do, but they didn't. So one day, I went to, everyone was writing their life scenarios. I brought in the leaders, and I showed the last example I could show, and I opened the door, and at that exact moment, I saw a fog inside the room, and I see some beer cans laying around. And they said you could order chicken. Apparently, they said that they ordered chicken and beer was just on free. I thought Coke was free, but I don't know beer was free. And so I was like, what the are you doing? And I screamed at him. After this ends tomorrow, you're all meeting up there. And I closed the door on him. Thought I was gonna die tomorrow. And so everyone gathered up the next day. I met up with the leaders. Kim Sung-il, I thought you quit smoking. Are you gonna quit or not? And he said he would quit. How can I trust you? You said you weren't gonna do it last time too, but you betrayed me again. Can you keep your promise this time? And he said yes. What if you can't? Gotta bet something. Are you gonna bet one of your fingers? Would you cut your finger off if you smoke again? And he said yes. I felt like I was handling a gangster, and I did quit.
Are your fingers okay now? Anyway, during the seminar, many of the multi-level marketing companies, people, they fight, they argue because they drink alcohols. So after the network marketing seminar, many people drink alcohol, drinking soju and beer. Some people come to seminar just for that. And people, when they drink, they fight with each other. So I just was determined to eliminate all this drinking and smoking culture. So I told everyone no smoking. All the leaders, they should be quitting smoking. You are selling health supplements. So how come you are smoking and sell health supplements? So to be respected, and even the leaders should be having more um, respectful attitude. So almost all the leaders now quit smoking. Imperial Master Kim Sung-il quit smoking, so all the other people quit smoking. And I told my employees to quit smoking. Most of them are Christians, and many people don't smoke. But some people have hard time quitting smoking. And among them, there are two people who still didn't quit smoking. And I could see them, some of them, walking alone to smoke. And there is a person from broadcasting team. Anyway, there is an employee who is smoking. His face is just too dark. So I asked him, "Did you quit smoking?" And he just makes some excuses. Until you stop smoking, don't come to work. I will give the salary, but smoke at home. So once you quit smoking, and come to work. But even though I told him so, he kept coming to the office. And when I asked him, did you quit smoking? Then he doesn't answer. And I was doing like that for 2 to 3 years. And he was really an honest man, so he never lied to me. And he didn't make empty promise to me. And he was making some excuses and not giving straight answer whether he quit smoking or not. And I told him to go home. And I've been disturbing him like that for a few years. And finally, he quit smoking. And now his face looks much more brighter. And when he meets me, he says, "Thank you, Chairman. My wife loves me now." So as far as I know, I think there is no employee who is smoking. Maybe there are some in overseas branches. So when we do interview, when they first come to the company, we make them say, "I will quit smoking, I will not drink, and are you going to learn about Bible?" And if they say yes to all these questions, then they can become an employee of Atomy. Some people say that it's against the labor law or something like that. I know that, but even if I go to jail, I want that to be kept by our employees. Yeah, I was also there with them. So chairman can get really angry, and actually it was during a meeting where all the employees were participating, and chairman was really strong about quitting smoking. And our CEO Choi Seung-gon was saying that maybe that's against the employment law, and our chairman got really angry. It's okay for me to go to jail, but I can't see my employees smoking. And I and many other employees thought, oh, our chairman really loves us. We could really feel that chairman really does care about his employees. Thank you for that remarks. Yeah, she didn't say that I was scary, and she said I was really caring for the employees. You're a great MC. So let's move on to the next question. Second question. Even a person like me can become successful. If my partner asks me this question, how can I answer to this? I think it would be a question by a sponsor. Maybe Imperial Master Kim Song-il, you can answer to that? Actually, I think I had a quite a big impact to people in Atomy. So I think because even a person like me got successful with Atomy, I think people think it's kind of a doable business. And Imperial Master Kim Gang-yeol, he's my friend. He was the owner of driving business, and he was the one who introduced this network marketing to me. And we really had a lot of difficult times, and he kind of really ignores me, and now I got successful and I was earning more than 30 million won. And he said, "Oh, if you can do that, I'm sure that I can also do that." And now we are both Imperial Masters, but he was really ignoring me. Let me interrupt for a while. There is a reason why Kim Gang-il said that. So you did this, so I can also do this. So back then, Imperial Master Kim Gang-il was the owner of driving business, and he was just an employee. So yeah, he was his friend, but he was an employee, and Kim Gang-il was the boss. But I did all the sales. He didn't know how to do the business. Anyway, Imperial Master Kim Gang-il was the owner of the business. So we were doing real estate business together, and that one, Kim Gang-yeol persuaded me to do that, and he was kind of selling the land, but I couldn't do that before, so he always kind of ignored me, and he saw me that I got successful with Atomy business, and he thought that he can surely become successful with Atomy because I also did it. And even she kind of ignored me. Yeah, I saw him getting successful, and I was sure that I could be even more successful than him. And whenever he made some trouble, I always had to take care of all these troubles. Yeah, he looks quite a strong and big man, but all the troubles that he made, I had to take care of them. So I know I'm not really a talented person, but after looking at his success, I was determined that I could be really successful. And one of the reasons why I started Atomy business, at the beginning in Jeonju Center, there was a lady who were not really good at show the plan. So I took 3 months off while I was doing the business, and she became sales master. So when I first met Atomy, my goal was to become the sales master, and even that was difficult for me. But I saw that old lady achieving the mastership, so even she did it. So now I think I can do this. So her example gave kind of confidence to me. So she's my sister, so she knows my past failures. So I was kind of a loser. That's what all the people thought about me. But when I wear this swan badge, and there are many people who touch on my badge, and now I'm Imperial Master at me. But I was really a very ordinary and normal person, having a lot of flaws. So every one of you can be successful like me. Yeah, I think his message gives a lot of courage for us. And Crown Master Kim Bunsook, at the beginning of the business, I think there was one word that your brother said, and that made you to decide to do this business. What was that? Actually, until my brother became lawyer master, I never used the product. I never attended this kind of seminar, but I could see that my brother changes and his life was changing. And I really wanted that this company would be able to protect my brother's success. And one day, my brother asked me to join a seminar with him, and I wanted to check if this company is really good enough to do that for my brother. And I went to Songrisan Mountain, and as I listened to the lecture of the chairman, I just attended the seminar for 2 days, and that's how I decided to start the business. So he never asked me to do the business, and I voluntarily said that I would want to do this business. And I didn't have a sponsor, and I pioneered my right and left wing and became a sponsor on my own. Anyway, for 5 months, I didn't have any partner, and I was going to seminar alone. But other people, they had sponsors and partners, but I was alone all the time. So I asked him, what should I do? And he said, sis, don't worry, just come to the seminar. If you don't get successful, I can get the money for you. You don't spend that much money, right? And that moment, I thought, oh, even you got successful. I can become even more successful than you. Wait and see. I'll be even more successful than you. So that's what I thought then. And that's how I started Atomy business. I only graduated from elementary school, and I was working at a factory for 3 years. And from the age of 17, I was in a sewing shop, clothing shop, and I was working like that for 10 years. And in the 70s and 80s, the tailored clothing shop was really going well, but it just the businesses closed down, and I didn't have any connections. I didn't have any education, so my brother thought that I am not capable of doing anything. But anyway, I worked on my own to earn money, and so I was confident that I'll do better than my brother. And later on, as I met my partners, I got to realize where there was difference between my brother's success and my success. So this family, they were ignoring each other. So Kim Sung-il thought that, oh, even a lady who seems like she doesn't know anything can become sales master, so I can become like her. And actually, I have some grudge over Kim Sung-il because, you know, above Park Jong-soo, he couldn't really go up above Park Jong-soo.
Park Jong-soo, he was above Kim Sung-il was above Park Sung-il because Park Sung-soo borrowed some money from a fund or something. So Park Sung-soo needed that money, so he had Kim Sung-il Kim Jong-il to be above him, but I haven't heard that he paid him back. And Park Sung-soo, now that he's rich, he's kind of forgotten about it now that he's rich. You should pay him back. So he let him apply before him, and so he should have done something to show his gratitude. But he said that this Atomy business didn't really have a future, so he disappeared for 3 months. So Park Jong-soo became a sales master, and he made a lot of sales. And he was able to make 1 million around then. So Park Sung-soo made it. And so he saw that happen, but now that he saw some random lady achieve it, he kind of woke up. And so the sister also saw that and was like, "Oh, he wasn't even that great at anything growing up, so I could be better than him." Is what the sister thought. But he thought that his sister has been sewing and just cooking at home. So basically, this household just like has beef with each other. My sister, she was a victim. She was a victim of when I was doing another network marketing business. Oh wow, there's hidden beef between you two. And so that's why she started. And I really respect her. And the reason being, when we made it when we went to America, we had a revival meeting in Hawaii and then went to America. And the sister said um, we were gonna send her to America, and she was like, "I only know how to cook. How could I be there? How can she achieve success in that area, in that atmosphere? How can she make a market?" And so he was frustrated by that and thought it wouldn't make sense, but it happened regardless. But since she could read Korean, and in New Jersey you could see some Korean banners, so she expected them to be Korean. Since the visa allows you to stay in America for 3 months, she wanted to achieve business there. So every morning when she would wake up, she would go to different stores and she would talk about Atomy business. When I first went to the New Jersey seminar, she already had 100 to 120 people there. And so she gathered people saying that the CEO was coming. And amongst them was Sim Chae-gan Crown Master was there. And he was in a situation where he went to study abroad in America and his visa ended. So he was an illegal immigrant in America. And since he was illegally staying in America, he couldn't really work. He can't get a passport. And so he was living as an illegal immigrant. But he had 4 kids. So if he didn't work for a day, he couldn't continue on living. So he was doing 3, 4 jobs until the AM. And he was making a living in that way. But when I was having a seminar in New Jersey, he came over. But this company that wasn't really well known anywhere. 100 people were there, and 30 people stayed because everyone else left. I mean, obviously my lectures are pretty long and all that, but still. But Shim Dae-gang, he stayed until the end. He's your partner, right? Yeah, so there was a crown master in New Jersey. And he has a really big line in America that sprouts out to Mexico. So she didn't even know English, but she made that whole market there. I would like to introduce you to a book. This book, Kim Bunsook wrote this. She wrote a book. This book in Naver, this was a bestseller for 14 weeks. It was a bestseller on Naver. The book is called Things You See Once the Fear Leaves. So I finished reading this book. I didn't read it because I didn't know about Atomy, but I read it. It was pretty easy read. I even have an episode to tell you. In New Jersey, and to New Jersey, we took a Greyhound bus. And when we were taking that bus, we stopped by a station because we couldn't just go nonstop. And someone talked to me in English, and I don't know, no one understood, but we don't know who was there. So it's a legend that will never be solved. But I think what he said was, I'll let you get off here, and I'll put in gas, and I'll be waiting somewhere, and you should meet me there. And I think that's what the driver was announcing. But she didn't understand English. I took my handbag and my phone, but all my clothes and everything that was in my carrier, the bus left with all my stuff in there. And so I was left there alone, and I couldn't speak English. I didn't even look at my ticket because I couldn't read it. So until Atlanta, it was a 22-hour bus ride, and that's all I knew. In in Korea, when a bus stops, the bus just starts from there. But in America, when the bus stops, it like changes its place, and the driver changes. So I was waiting in the wrong destination, and they just left without me. So the thing is, she didn't even know a lick of English, and she survived and made it all the way here. And she became a crown master on top of that. With that experience, I was able to write this book. And so that's the title. When the fear passes away, there's new things that you can see. Once the fear passes by, you can trust in yourself, and you can think and believe in yourself that you're gonna be able to accomplish this and overcome this. This is something I learned from Atomy. I mean, succeeding in Atomy is great, but I was also able to believe in myself. And that was a very memorable moment for me that I am still very grateful for. I made schools. I've created schools, but why did you? I don't really believe in education. People might say, why did you even build schools then? I believe that the conscience that people are born with, that's really important. Out of people here, are there anyone who wasn't really studying well, had bad GPA, and was pretty shy to do anything because of your grades? So studying and having a good personality to succeed in life and having a bad GPA, they don't really correlate with each other. You don't really have to go to a good school to be a crown master. Anyone can go become a crown master. There's something very spectacular about her. She knows how to dream. Even in the small room, sewing away, she wanted she always had a dream of flying around the world. And she always had a dream that she was gonna write a book one day. And she made that possible. She's only graduated from elementary school, and she's done that. These dreams were something I couldn't have achieved without Atomy. I don't think there's anyone lower than me who's accomplished less than me. If I take off my makeup, there's really nothing much to see from my face. I'm not good at talking either. These things that I'm talking about, it's because I've met so much people through Atomy. This is the grown me that you're looking at. So I don't think there's anyone who aren't as even good as me. I think anyone can achieve anything if they put their mind to it. Meeting Atomy allowed her to succeed. And she always says this, and she always says that she was always, she wasn't gonna achieve all this without Atomy. Then I wanna ask you all, you've all met Atomy, why are you still living like that? You guys should really repent. You guys need to grow up. You really shouldn't be living like that. You need to think that you're gonna go to America, take that Greyhound bus, and start a new life. That type of courage. Schools really need to be teaching these courages about how to be dreaming, how to have courage. These are the necessary things that schools should be teaching. But schools don't really teach that. So you guys all received false education. You guys are all now shy. I hope you repent.
네, 그런데 최근 회장님께서 강의하시면서 김분수 크라운 마스터님의 해외 개척 이야기를
And in the lecture, we've heard a lot from her. We really want to hear about your stories as well, and about the Romania partners that you had.
루마니아 가서 개척한 지가
I went to Romania
전인데요.
about a year and a half ago.
대구
Now that
촬영 가신 분이
there's also Star Masters and Sharon Masters,
상금 여행을 제주도
and they've all went to the promotion traveling event to Jeju.
그리고 유럽
16 people from Romania
6명 이 정도
and 16 people from other countries are here today.
제가 해외 개척을 많이 하는 걸로
I
알고
opened up the route for other countries.
개척해야 되겠다 이거보다는
I'm not having that mindset of, oh, I have to open up other routes to other countries, but it's more like I want to travel to other worlds that I've been always dreaming of. I'm just achieving my dream that I had since a long time ago. I'm just living to achieve my dreams.
자리에 와 있어요.
And now that I've been doing that, I've just kind of made it up here.
성공할
I'm gonna be more successful than my brother. That was my initial goal,
힘이 없어서
but I didn't really have the confidence.
10년 일해서
I didn't really have the confidence to start.
유지를
So
내
I thought
부는
I would just be able to have a good after
했었고
retirement life
생각은 지금도
by becoming a sales master.
제가 60년생이니까
And I still think that I'm like 65 Korean age.
200만 원, 300만 원만 들어도
And people live off of
거든요. 근데
a very little amount. But
진짜 쉬지 않고 하다 보면
after working for 10 years,
까지 갈 수 있다.
I was able to make it all the way up to Crown and Imperial.
사업을 해낼 수 있는 거고
You
그런데
individuals are small, but you could achieve big things.
스스로에 대한 확신이
You have to have confidence in yourself, and you also need to have dreams. But the confidence
통해서만 만들어진다고 저는 생각을 합니다.
only comes through consumers.
스테파니 얘기하라고 스테파니.
Talk about Stephanie.
내가 이 애터미를 통해서
through Atomy, the products that I am delivering to other people, I want everyone to use these products. Those people who thought they had better products, I want them to also think that these products are great quality. And I've received that confidence. And in whatever country I go to, I think that works anywhere, this type of confidence. I think you need to have that confidence in yourself first. And once you have that in you, when you are armored with Atomy, you don't have to know their language. I don't even have Kakao Talk or social media or translation apps or Google Translate. But what I learned is that wherever you go, there's Koreans everywhere. Stephanie also. She lives with Korean. She lives with a Korean guy. So even though I didn't know English, I didn't even know their language, but I was able to create this route for everyone. So whatever you put your will to, you'll be able to make a path and you'll be able to create your own route.
So I have my father here, but he never really took me with him to advance into the new market. For about 5 months, I was alone going to the seminar, and I thought my chairman is my sponsor, and I just told what he told me to do. I brought all the products to look for consumers. I think that's the right way to do this. I need to carry all these products with me and show them to the consumers. So for 2 months, I was in a really poor family for a long time, so I didn't have much money. But to work on this business, I bought 2.4 million point products, and I took Hemoin myself for cosmetic products and shampoo, and I put it in my big luggage bag, and I always carry the products with me, even to the seminar. And some people ask me, why are you carrying those products with you? And whenever I meet some consumer, I need to be able to talk about the products. That's why I'm carrying all these products with me all the time. So that's what I did whenever I traveled abroad. So I did that for about 5 months. And by coincidence, there were some people ask me, what is Atomy? And I attended all the local seminars that chairman was giving, and I'm not really great at memorizing anything. My IQ is only 85. I don't have good memory at all. Sometimes I don't recognize the faces of the partners. I don't remember their names. Sometimes it's really embarrassing that I forget all their names and faces. But even with that low intelligence, I was attending all the seminars, listening to all the lectures of the chairman. So when someone asked me what Atomy is, and I could just tell them so well. And I did that for about 5 months and working together with my partner. And my partner became sales master and maintained the mastership. So I expanded my small leg, and when Kim Song-il was not doing good, I took care of all of that, and I got really depressed, and I had to even save like 10,000 won. I couldn't even spend 10,000 won for me, and I couldn't really travel, so I was in a climbing club, and I wanted to tell them about Atomy, but I couldn't do that for about 10 months. But after receiving education for 10 months, and I realized that Atomy's cosmetic is better than any luxury cosmetic product, so I went to them, and those people were using and selling luxury cosmetic products and health supplements. I believe Crown Master Kim Moon-suk has so many great examples and cases of success stories. So maybe we can invite her later to listen to her lecture on many different success stories. So maybe we can move on to the next point. Crown Master Kim Bunsook. She advanced into Romania market. I think it can be a really good example for all of you. I've never been to Romania. Now it would be my first time to go there. I will be living on 24th this month and I'll be there for 15 days. And our branch manager, Atomy EU, I she was told that they need to advance into Eastern Europe, especially Romania. They know no one from Romania, but I think the only word they understand is Romania, right? There will be a translation, German, English. I think no Romanian language. So whenever they hear the word Romania, they're just shouting and screaming, I guess. So we have Gary, branch manager in Germany, and when he went to Romania, there was a Korean restaurant, and I think they got introduced that restaurant. If I'm saying something wrong, please correct me later. And anyway, they went there to the Korean restaurant, and the husband was Korean and the wife was Romanian, the restaurant owner, and Stefania. She speaks a little bit of Korean. So I hope you understand the situation, right? Why we are talking about this. Anyway, so they went to Romania. That restaurant was really a big one and doing business really well, like 40 million won a month. It was really a great restaurant. So do you think they want to do Atomy business? No. They will not listen to us because they are already being successful with their business. So they brought their son to help with the restaurant's business. So they felt sorry for that. So they wanted to listen to Atomy a little bit. So that's how we got to talk about Atomy and got them as members. And do you think they're going to do Atomy business? Because they're already busy with restaurant business. So Gary told them to introduce Atomy to other people when people come to their restaurant. And there were more and more people who got to know about Atomy, and it got to make money for Stefania. When I visited Europe, she came to Frankfurt, and she was Sharon Rose Master back then. And it's not earning money as much as she gets from the restaurant business, but now she's Star Master. So I've never been to this country in Eastern Europe, but our Crown Master Kim Bunsook, she doesn't speak any English, German, or Romanian language at all. Anyway, in that small village, she made it. She advanced that market. So whoever you meet, you can talk about Atomy to anyone. So if that person really needs business, maybe you can help with the person's business, help with the person's work. So the key to recruiting is people who are smarter than you, who are richer than you, who have run bigger business than you. Those people should be your targets and stick to them. But most of the time, many people are looking for who are more stupid than you, who didn't learn less than you. So that's why it's giving you a headache. So if you are just looking for people who are doing less than you, who learned less than you, it would be more difficult for you. So there are reasons why some people are in poverty. They always say, I cannot do this, it's too difficult for me. So maybe your target should be different. You need to be targeting people who are smarter than you and who are richer than you. So you're not going to speak to the people who are poorer than you. Of course, you need to talk to them. Maybe those people were misfortunate to become poor. So Imperial Master Kim Sung-il thought his sister a stupid person. So that's why he never asked her to join this business for 2 months. So he didn't know that this stupid sister of his would be a treasure. So anyway, you should give information about Atomy to some stupid people. So there might be some really great people next to those people. Let's say there's an old lady in her 80s. Maybe you should try talking to her. Maybe among her grandsons or granddaughters, there might be some potential business partners or nephews or nieces. So maybe I cannot do that, but I have some my grandson who can do that business. So you need to talk to people who don't look that capable, but the main target of yours should be who are smarter than you, who are better off than you. So what's their characteristics? They don't say, "Oh, I cannot do this. It's so difficult for me," because they already have experienced all the hardships and they already know that they can never be successful without going through hardships. And people who made success, they have good character because they have dealt with so many different people. And people who are not successful, they didn't become successful because they have bad characters. So you need to be targeting people who are smarter than you, who are better off than you. So for those stupid and poor people, of course you need to speak to them, but if it's not working, just go to the next one. So we have this Stefania, and she kept introducing Atomy to other people. So we have 8 steps to success. So use the network of your partner, use the list of your partner, and you need to look for the friends that your partner has. And Crown Master Kim Bunsook did just that. Um, she spread Atomy to Stefania, and Stefania went on to introduce Atomy to other people. So now she's even thinking about closing the restaurant business. So on the third floor of the restaurant building, she opened the lecture room, and gradually, now maybe she will close down the restaurant business and focus on the Atomy business. This is the center on the restaurant building. So that's what I heard from these people. Yeah, maybe this is second floor, not the third floor. If there's anything that you don't like from what I said, maybe you can add on to that.
어떻게 이렇게
No, I liked what you just said, so you just told the right story for me. Maybe one more thing I can add to this.
루마니아라는 나라가 있는 것도 몰랐어요.
Actually, I didn't even know that there is a country called Romania. I've been to many different countries, but I didn't know anything about Romania. But a few years ago,
조지아에 있는데
October, while I was traveling in Georgia, my brother, Kim Sung-il Imperial Master,
영국 세미나를
was
갔다고
going to
하길래
seminar in Spain,
제가
Portugal,
여행을 할
and
때
UK.
친구 바로
So
쫓아갔어요.
I just followed
그래가지고
him,
그 세미나를
and I attended all these
그쪽
seminars,
세미나
and
분위기를 보면 어느
I
정도
wanted to
알잖아요.
see how is the atmosphere like in the European seminar. That's why I attended the seminars, and after that,
범인장님한테 범인장님
I talked to the branch manager.
유럽에는 어느 나라가 가장
Which country
잘하는
in
걸까요?
Europe
이렇게
would
했더니
be the
루마니아
best
한번 가보세요. 이렇게
candidate?
말씀하셨어요.
So why don't you go
그래서
to
바로
Romania?
끝나고
So right after
끝나고
traveling,
루마니아로
I went to Romania with my son,
한번 우리 가보자.
and I told him we should go as a travel.
일주일 동안
And we stayed there for a week,
한국마트 뭐
and we
여러
went to a
푸드코트
Korean market. We
이런
looked at K food, and we followed them around,
없는 거예요.
and we didn't really find much. We couldn't really see the owner, we just saw people who are actually Romanian. So we can't even really hold a conversation, so that we were in despair.
식당 주변 이제
And so we walked around
대선봉 광장인데요.
the place and we met Stephanie and the Stephanie Korean restaurant. It was a really big restaurant and they were making a whole bunch of about 440 million, 400 million. And so we asked if there was a Korean owner and he came and he asked why we were there for. And I told him that I was here for work plus traveling. And he asked, and we asked if he knew Atomy. He didn't know. And after all that, I had 4 days left in my travel, and I went there every single day. That I was gonna have my meals every time at that restaurant. So I went back talking about Atomy, and I got him to apply. And after a month, I packed all my stuff and went back, and I started going to the restaurant. I went in the morning and I stayed all day until they closed at night. And since I've been doing that, they really didn't have a choice to not join Atomy. So sometimes, if there weren't anyone from Atom who we could talk to Atomy about, we would have customers and we would get someone to translate that for us. And so later on, they already knew all the information, so they didn't really even need me in talking about Atomy. And that's what led to the success of Romanian Atomy Center. Stephanie did all the work, and I'm getting the compliment for it. So I'm kinda sorry for her.
큰 박수 한번
Please give her a big applause.
네, 정말 그 큰 용기와 또 오늘
That big courage that you had,
노하우에 대한
and
소개를 해주신
how you opened up that route.
마스터님께 다시
That was great stories. Thank you.
네, 다음 질문 바로 이어가겠습니다.
I'll move on to the next question.
스폰서가 열정적이
My sponsor isn't that passionate, and it's dragging me down as well. What should I do?
이 부분은 한번 김성일 인테리어 마스터
Let's ask Kim Sung-il Master about this.
이거 원래 회장님
This,
말씀을 많이 하셔서 저한테 넘기겠어요.
I think this is a question for Mongsang, but I guess he's talked a lot tonight, so that's why I'm answering this.
그때 굉장히 많이 말씀하셨던 게 뭐냐면
COS has talked about this a lot.
일본 사업자
It's that you're all the first contractors for everything.
통하는 게 뭐냐면
And he said a lot, and they all
기대가지고는
correlate. You cannot be leaning on other people for your success. No one else could make you successful. Because if they become successful, they're gonna make people who are close to them become successful. You get scammed most of the time because you lean on to other people too much. Your life, your family's life.
스폰서가 책임져주지 않아요.
Your sponsor doesn't take care of those lives. You have to become that sponsor.
이게 여러분 어찌 보면 더 쉬운 거예요.
Becoming a sponsor might be easier, to be honest. What's hard in doing Atomy work? See, Mongsang gave us the easy works after doing all the hard work.
못하는 것들
These are things you can't even tell other people to do.
누구나 성공할 수 있는 모든
And this
만들어서 여러분
system
여러분이
is a system where anyone can succeed.
근데 여러분이 나는 못해
But you guys are all saying that you can't
스폰서님을
succeed. Even if you meet a great sponsor, if you don't change, you can't succeed.
우리 누나님을 제가 인정하는 부분도
I really think my sister is great.
자기가 다 했다고 자랑하잖아요.
I mean, she was bragging about how she did the 2 lines herself, and she was bragging about it. But, that's actually the norm. You're supposed to make your lines alone.
잠깐만 이야기하고 싶어요.
I want to cut him off for a second.
어쨌든 저를 동생 외에 누군가
My brother
그렇게 하지 않았고
didn't really recruit anyone, and I'm sure there's sponsors ahead of me. But because I had I had a brother,
않게 된 거죠.
they didn't really look after me.
스폰서가 있어야 된다는 것도 모르고
So I didn't even know I really needed a sponsor. And then I saw people bringing their sponsors, eating with them, and having meetings with them, and I didn't have that at all. So I started to feel sad about myself, why I had to apply for this, and I started bothering him and annoying him about that. But he doesn't really answer much. He doesn't say much. So he kept quiet for a while, and during the Songni Mountain Success Academy, I was asking him why he had to make me apply to this. I was frustrated at him, and he brought me to the parking lot area, and he said, Sister, if you're gonna do business with that mindset, you should just stop coming to the seminar. Those thoughts that you have, I don't want that type of negative mindset is gonna move on to your partners. So stop your business now. You're not even a leader. You don't even have the worthiness to become a sponsor. If you want anything from a sponsor, you have to be the one to start that. You have to give that to your partners. If you're doing the sponsor business, you should want stuff from sponsors, but you want your success. You're not wanting to make your sponsor better. So if you're thinking like that, if that's your mindset, you should stop. And that moment I was so embarrassed, and that's when I made up my mind. Yeah, this is my work. This is my business. I'm gonna set everything myself. I'm gonna be my partner's sponsors, and I'm gonna let them live the life that I've wanted. And that I was gonna be better than my sponsor. I have a small heart, don't judge me.
오늘 회장님께서도 말씀하셨잖아요. 저희 교육까지 이제 따라하기 교육까지 시켜주셨는데
CEO has talked about
파트너는 스폰서님의
uh,
수혜자고
that all the partners should that we should say that, oh, sponsor, I'll make you successful, and partners, I'll make you successful as well.
한 건 이 부분에 대해서 조금
And I think that was kind of related to what she was saying. Up until now, I thought the sister was smarter, but Kim Sung-il, you do have some smart areas about you. You said the right thing. You're not working for your sponsor's success. Then you should want something from your sponsor. But you're wanting to succeed for your own goods. So you can't be asking other people. I think that's a great thing that you said. Business, this is your business. If you learn business from a wrong field, you think that one of your lines should be done by a sponsor. And some people think about that and talk about that. And I've never seen anyone succeed with that mindset. People who taught that type of system all disappeared into the history. What kind of MLM company, what kind of pyramid scheme company survived? None. So that's a failed system. So even from the start, having a sponsor helping you with the line, I thought this was not the right way to go. I didn't want you to be following that type of mindset. If you have one line that's from the sponsor, if the sponsor helps you with that whole line, and if they say, oh, you just care of one line, and that's how they get you hooked. And the partner in turn only works on the other line that the sponsor didn't make. And then this B line, when this works out, this sponsor looks at this, sees this B line as a better line, and they start lining up towards that side. And that's when the fights happen. So caring for just one of the line, and that sponsor is gonna take care of the other line, that brings out conflict. So until now, if you still remember that from other companies, these are all failed strategy. I'm telling you to not do this for Atomy. Atomy is only successful because we don't do that. That company is gone into the history. Some are alive, but they're not. They're wilting away. What other companies in Korea are doing well? None. So having this type of method fails. So you have to care for both of your lines. You can't be having one line. If another company says, oh, you just need one line, and if you go to that type of MLM company, or into a company that has like 12 lines, people move on to companies that have 2 lines, and they bring this, and they say that, oh, our company, we just need 1 line. And those people who had 2 lines, they moved towards that. And these companies all disappeared because people fought within each other. So your left leg and your right leg, you need to care for both of them. If your sponsor helps you, that's great. But if they don't, you didn't lose anything. And some lines, sponsors are the ones who makes it complicated. They tell you to achieve this much for their good. And there's some lines that are like that. And they're not doing it the right way. They're trying to succeed using you. They're not trying to help the others, but they're saying, oh, I'll help you with half. You do the other half. And they're trying to make you to focus on one line. And to do this in like some sort of low method, this is the wrong way and it doesn't work out. So all the companies that worked that way, they are all gone. To invest and to invest in the technology, I tell them not to do so. It's about people who really know investment. They say that you should be working together in that. Maybe making short-term money. Maybe some make that happen, but people who really know what they're doing, they don't like to graph everything and do the short-term investments. I'm I've read about 23 books about stocks, and the conclusion I came up with was that I'm not going to be doing stocks. So when you're doing this network marketing, and if you want to promote, and when you talk about those, you should challenge yourself to get promoted. But what you should be focusing on is helping your partner, helping your partner get what their lines filled up to. If you just care about how much money you had in your bank account, and if you're trying to make that the focus, that's like stealing money, and you're really not getting much out of it. So what's better, having a sponsor or not? It's better to not have a sponsor. But like don't get rid of them obviously. Don't like tell them that you're gonna be moving lines. You should be polite and telling, I'm sorry that you're working so hard, but that I can't be helping. But then in your mind you could be like, oh, I'm gonna be doing it myself. You should tell them that, oh, you do your best and don't care about my line. I'll be focusing on mine. I'll do mine on my own. So you just focus on the other lines and I'll be helpful to you. You have to think differently and say something else. You have to have 2 completely different thoughts. You shouldn't um you shouldn't be showing everything you're thinking about. I am pretty honest. I can't really say empty promises. When you live near people like this, it's really hard. I mean, obviously you know me. I can't be saying empty promises. I only say the right things. And I'm very straightforward. And I'm very blunt. And it makes your life hard.
Let me give you an example. You are in an elevator. There is a baby, and he looks really ugly. I wonder why he looks like that. Can you do that? No, you can never say something like that. It means you have bad character. You should be looking for some pretty points of the baby, considering the baby's mom. Oh, the baby's eyes are really bright. So all babies have bright eyes, right? Whether they're handsome or ugly. So, oh, his eyes are like treasures. So pretty. Maybe you can say that to the baby, right? So when you do sales, it's like providing service. So this is what a servant does. Servant, serving others. You should be serving others to make money. Isn't it really great and amazing? You are working as a servant, but you make more money than the people that you serve for. So service is what a servant provides. So you should be having an attitude of a servant. So if you think like, oh, I can never be a servant, then you will just have empty pockets, no money in your wallet. I cannot serve any other person than me. And you should be asking others to buy the product. So I'm trying to do this business, and sometimes you should be begging other people. But if you are like, I can never say that, those people don't really have friends. So do you want to be a servant or not? You should be a servant, serving other. You should be humble. So what's the difference between taking on the challenge and betting? So betting is if you only think about having money in your pocket, that's betting. What about taking on the challenge? To make your partners earn money constantly so that your partners can become independent at the end and work on their business on their own, making your partners independent even without you. So you need to make all these independent partners. How can you do that? If they can make money on their own, they can become independent from you. Some people ask me this kind of question. Yeah, it's on the script, so I will answer to this question. Yeah, some people say, how can you have this constant passion? Where does your passion come from? Some people ask me this question. You are not poor, you have big company, you have all these employees, all these leaders. How come you stay so enthusiastic and passionate like that? My wife also says something like to me. Sometimes I get sick, you know. Sometimes it's hard for me to breathe when it's really hard sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it does happen. And my wife, why are you working so hard? Please take some rest. Actually, the reason why I'm being so passionate and enthusiastic and never stop working, we have Kim Bunsook, Kim Sung-il, and other Imperial Master and Lawyer Master Club. It's not really because of them. I was working hard because of these people in the past. Yeah, I wanted to make Kim Sung-il successful. It felt like he's my little brother, so sometimes I scolded him. Anyway, we never really hated each other, right? Am I correct? Yeah? You never hated me? I never hated you, right? So, Sometimes I scored him, but I think he knew that I was really taking care of him.
여러분들이 그러니까 제가 지금도 열정적으로
So I'm still really passionate and enthusiastic.
했던 강의가
And the lecture that I gave before in the morning, it didn't
여러분들은
really,
목표적인
I didn't really like it. Maybe you didn't
제가 생각했던 수준이
realize
아니었어요.
that, but the quality of the lecture was
강의하면서도
not really as much as I expected. So I didn't really like my lecture.
열정이라도 보이자.
So I
지랄이라도 하자.
just wanted to
그러니까
show
여기서
my
한
passion.
달려가면 될 거를 왔다
So,
갔다
I
하면서
was like running all
지치지도
around
않아.
the stage, doing some
달려가야
crazy
될 거를.
things.
그러니까 그런 걸로라도 좀 분위기 왜냐 여기
So,
오신
with that
분들 중에는
kind of
미국에서 오신
passion,
분들도
I
있고
wanted to lighten up the atmosphere.
이렇게
There are
보시거든요.
people who are from other
내
countries.
강의가 지금 쫙
They
빨려들고
travel
다녀야
really
되는데
long distances to be
한국말하는 걸
here.
알아서
So,
하는
I really wanted
분들이 쫙
to
이제 오는
give
거예요.
insight
그러니까
through my
이제
lecture.
막 쇼를 해가지고
That's why
하는 거예요.
I'm showing the kind of passion, doing all these crazy things
그러니까 최선을 다해.
to light up the atmosphere. That's why I'm
이렇게
doing my
제가
best.
이렇게 강의가 오늘 잘 안 됐는데 하고 내려가면
Sometimes I'm not satisfied with my lecture.
누가
Then Director Kim
아유
Kyung-hee
회장님 이제는 너무
says,
힘드시니까 우리가 영상으로
"Yeah,
준비해가지고
maybe you are
이렇게
too
얘기를
tired.
해요.
Maybe we
이쁜
can
것이
prepare
많으니까
some
이쁘게 해.
video instead of
근데 나는
live
속으로
lecture."
아이고 내려가면은 김경희 이사한테 잘리겠구나.
So sometimes I think, oh, maybe
그래가지고 내가
if I go
편하게
down the
얘기해.
stage,
나도 오늘 강의 마음에 안 들어.
she will not like me.
한 번만 더 시켜줘.
I
내가
don't like I
무대를
didn't like my
틀어볼
lecture
테니까.
today, so maybe give me one more
그래가지고
chance. I
열정을
will
했는데
be giving more
아 이게 뭐
insightful lecture
마음에 안
next
들어.
time. Passionate
아이고
lecture. So sometimes I don't like my lecture, but it's not really a total
아는데
failure.
한 번만
I know that it's not really 100% satisfactory, but
이래가면서
just give me one more chance. Then I'll be more enthusiastic and passionate next time.
하다 보니까
Because during the pandemic, I
힘들더라고.
couldn't really give lectures, so maybe
그래가지고 이제
I
그거를
lost the
보여주는
sense of
촬영해서 이제
giving
보여주는
lectures,
거예요.
so
그러니까
I had
여러분들
to get used to
회장님이
this again.
그분들이 써주는 원고 있고 여러분들
Sometimes there
우리가
are some chairmen who just read the
그
scripts
중에서
prepared
좀
by
잘하시는
their
것 같습니다.
employees.
그러니까 회장 끝 이렇게 얘기하고 내려가도 돼.
That's also
그런데
possible.
여기서
But
그냥 막 방방 뜨고 하는
I'm
것은
doing all these crazy
이게 너무
things on the
안타까운 거예요.
stage
제가 보직에 가까운
because
사람들은 어떤 사람들이냐면은
I really do care about our members, especially
이달까지
people who are thinking about
할지 말 건지
quitting this business this
고민하고
month.
이런 사람이 여기도 있을 거예요.
I'm sure that there must be some people like that who are wondering whether they should continue to do this business or not.
그래서
So
이제
I can't stop
애토미도
thinking
한계요,
about
흑산에도
them
한계요, 후보
because it's really hard for them to make a living. They've been doing this business for a few months. They are worried. They are not certain about whether they can be successful with this or not.
하고 있고 성공하고 있는 게 아니란 말이에요.
So not everyone is successful with Atomy business. Many people wants to give up. Or maybe I will just be a consumer using the product.
갈 앞으로 앞날을 생각해 보면
But think about the future for these
큰
people.
재산이라도 있으면
If
다행인데
they
그게
have a lot of fortune, it would
하루하루
be
그
okay, but they don't have any plan for their life after
그렇게
retirement, and it
하루하루
would be difficult
노동소득으로
for them
살아가야
to make
되는데
ends meet,
그분의 노후를
living on
생각해
the
보면
labor income. So if I think about their future,
병이라도
it's
들면
a big
얼마나
despair. What if
참
the
삶
person gets
자체가
sick?
정말 자존심 상하고
And
창피하고
it would be really
것을 생각해
big
볼 때 그런데 예를
despair
들면
for those people.
이렇게 그런 갈등을 하던 분이 제가 강의를 했더니
So let's say I give a really enthusiastic lecture, and maybe these people get motivated from my lecture and they become auto sales master and auto diamond master and become really a
그
successful
거기에서
leader.
포기해버려요. 이 거기에
Or
입사를
they
해서
just
포기한
stop
사람이
there.
누구들이겠냐 하는 거예요.
I
저는
believe
그에
there will
대한
be so many people who
안타까워요.
just stop here. So I really do
그래서
care about them.
정말 내가 할 수 있으면
So I always want to do my
최선을
best so that
애터미와 함께 성공적인 노후를 보내야 되겠다
one more
하는
people
이런 마음이
would continue to do Atomy business and become successful. I really hope that.
정말 이게 전
And now Atomy business is going global, so I really want people who are struggling with finding jobs to earn money with Atomy business. And if they can earn more money, maybe they can help out children from compassion. Now, Atomy is taking care of like 10,000 children, so we are providing 500 million a month. So we are sending like 6 billion won a year. And I'm giving 50 million won from my salary every month. Maybe you might wonder how much money I get paid a month. I think it's quite similar to Imperial Master Kim Sung. Maybe you are more than me these days.
아니 제가 뭐 임페리얼만큼 받는 거 뭐 불만 있어요?
Anyone who doesn't like that
몇 번
I
받아도
earn
돼요.
as much as Imperial Master, it should be like 10 times bigger, right?
이렇게 5천만
Anyway, I give 50 million won to those children. It's like more than half of my salary.
지금도 오늘 밤에도
So
정말
tonight,
허기진 배를
there will be some children who go to bed hungry.
아이들이 이 세상에는 너무 많은
So there are too many of them in this world.
아이들이 한 3억 명
There are
정도
like 300 million children who are under the poverty line, and who are in the extreme poverty, there are more than 100 million.
북한 같은 경우
Especially like North Korea, they are really in a
체제에 하나 잘못
sad situation because of the wrong political regime.
가지는 걸 보면
Those people are suffering so much.
시장 경제
So we have market economy and liberalism, liberal democracy in South Korea. This is something really precious.
그리고 또 우리보다도 잘 살던 그런 나라들
And countries that used to live better up than us, like the Philippines,
박정희 대통령
during the times of President Park Chung-hee, they were better 5 times more than us. It was like Paris of the East, and the big limousines were there on the street in the city of Manila.
지금은 그 상태에서 별로 발전을
But
못하고 요즘
they didn't grow
대한민국
after that.
어떻게 이렇게
So how come South Korea has become one of the top 10 economies of the world?
여러분들 해외 나가면은
So when you go abroad,
유럽 같은 데 가면은
when you go
한 10개
to Europe,
패스트 트랙 빨리 나갈 수 있는 길을
the 10 countries, they have fast track, and South Korea is included there. When I went to Hong Kong, it was not on the fast track.
코리아 코리아
And the employees from the airport
갔어요.
said like, "Are you Korean?" And I went there and I could pass through the fast track. There was no separate fast track line inserted yet, but there was a special course for the diplomats and flight attendants. Maybe I look like a Korean, maybe they recognize the color of the passport. Anyway, the staff guided me to the fast track. So
참 자랑스러운 나라가
the status of Korea is not really high in the world.
없어요. 북한은 지금 그
But what about North Korea? They are a failed state, and South Korea is really being successful because of the difference in the political regime. So President Lee Seung-man made this democratic system. So I feel really grateful about that.
지금 제가 이제 이렇게 열정을 가지고 있는 것은
So the reason why I could be this passionate and enthusiastic is because there are so many people who are struggling and suffering. There are so many of them.
정말 배고픈 아이들
And there are so many children who are hungry. So I like to help more children like that. So have such compassion. So that's why I can maintain this high level of passion. I don't know until when I can be doing this because there are limitations to your physical strength.
열정을 저희가 한번 보내드릴까요?
Yeah, maybe we can give a passionate round of applause to our chairman.
네, 오늘 저희가 준비한 질문
Yeah, that was the question that we have prepared for today.
너무 귀한 말씀을 해주신
And we've heard some valuable talks today. And I would please thank all of them. And we'll end the success talk show here. We had this time with Mongsang. Please give him a big round of applause.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요.